Okay, it is 4:33. Arrived at the house. Here was met by a nice gentleman. The house is absolutely spotless. 2304. Went upstairs and looked. The upstairs air handler is blowing, but does not feel like the compressor is on. The downstairs one is blowing fine. The downstairs was satisfied at 70. It was calling for 70. And the upstairs, it was calling for 70, but it was about 84, I believe. So my next step is to get my tools. I'm gonna go on the side of the house over there and go ahead and start seeing what's wrong. Okay, so I arrived here. This unit right here is not working, even though it's getting called from the thermostat upstairs. So we got to figure out what's going on with that. These are ML14 XPs, so the heat pumps, and they were made in 22 on the 19th week. This is a 410 unit. Upon visual inspection, I don't see anything crazy that's going on with it. Everything looks very good, clean. Unit, I don't see anything wrong with this one as well. This one I am getting some heat off of it, so I do know that it's working. So this is going to be the downstairs unit, and that one's going to be the upstairs. Let's go ahead and get into it and see what's happening. Okay, so I took the cover off. Inside, I mean, the capacitor looks okay just by looking at it. I don't see any swollenness whatsoever. I do see that the contactor is not pulled in. So the very first thing we want to do, because I know that it's calling, is I want to check to make sure that we have power that's going into the unit itself, because the unit should be on, right? So we're going to go there, there, and there. I have power coming there. So let's see if I got power coming over to my low voltage. So I'm going to check there and there. And I'm sorry, it's a little shaky. I'm trying to hold this with one hand. I just checked this and this, and it did not. Okay, so I did check we got voltage going in. I don't have 24 volts on either side going out. So that means, because I don't have 24 volts going in there, that means something is stopping the voltage from hitting my 24 volts to sucking in that contactor. Now there's only a couple things that would do it. Let's check the board here. Oh, we got a red. Okay, there's a fault right there. So let's go to this real quick. And we're gonna go right here and go to red, TS, no, I want the faults. Red on, and it says low pressure lockout. Red on, low pressure lockout. So that's gonna mean that there's a low pressure switch that activated. Now, does it have low pressure? That I don't know. So my next step is to go ahead and check the pressures on it. Let me get my gauges and we'll go from there. Okay, let me kind of explain to you my troubleshooting. So got here, we opened this up. I put my job links on them. That really doesn't work because the unit's not running. So the unit was not running. So my first thing would be like, we checked it. We checked the red. We checked the red here. It says low pressure lockout. So on a low pressure lockout, the first thing I want to do is, of course, like I said, I want to check the pressure. So when I put those on, my standing pressures are at 169 on each side. So low side and high side, 169. That's really for the outdoor ambient temperature. That's perfectly fine. So I'm like, okay, so it's not a refrigerant leak. I have refrigerant in there. Why is my low pressure switch off? So I went ahead and I checked to make sure that we had power coming into the high voltage side. We do have power coming onto there. I checked both sides of the contactor, no 24 volts. Why don't we have 24 volts? Well, it said the low pressure switch was off. So I came over here, and these two switch for low pressure switches, I took those off. I tested the continuity in between these. They have continuity. So I know my low pressure switch is not stuck open. It does happen. So my next step would be, let me go ahead and bypass the switch and see if it's something that the board. So I jumped the cables, or I jumped the two low pressure switches at the board to take this pressure switch off of it, and still nothing came on whatsoever. So I said, okay, so my board is not inputting, or it's not getting the relay. So I went ahead and I checked to make sure I had 24 volts here. I've got 24 volts from it's calling for cool, so between the Y and the common, and I have 24 volts from the common to the red. So, okay, so I know that's putting out. I went back over here and checked to make sure I don't have I had 24 volts there. I do not have 24 volts there. So the thing is, you do have a bad board. This board is incorrect. Every single test goes to it. It is not a low refrigerant issue. It is a bad board issue, unfortunately.